SolidWorks makes it very easy to add fittings such as T's, reducers, and couplers to your route. While SolidWorks adds fittings such as elbows to your route automatically, I'll show you how you can add the fittings I just mentioned to your route in a manual approach. Here in this example, I'm going to add a T to this piping route. To do this, I'll right-click on the route and select Edit Route to begin working with it. Now, just as we've added components before, such as flanges, I can use the drag and drop approach. I'll open the design library and browse to the threaded fitting section. Once I find the threaded T fitting, I'll drag it onto my sketch. Notice it only wants to snap onto one of the points at either end of the sketch. In this example, I actually want to snap it onto the center of the sketch. To do this, I'll have to split this route line in order to get a point right in the middle. Before letting go of my mouse button, I'll hit the Escape key to avoid dropping it onto my model. To split the route, I'll right-click on the route line and select Split Entities. When I do, notice my cursor feedback changes. All I have to do is click again to establish the sketch point where I want to add the fitting. Now I'll be sure to wake up the midpoint by hovering over the line so I can select directly on it. With our sketch split and a new point in place, it's now possible to drag and drop the T fitting onto this point. Now if you remember from an earlier lesson, this point is where the T fitting can use its R point to position itself along the sketch. I'll browse again to our threaded T and do a drag and drop onto this point. When I do, you'll see it snap onto the point. Once it snaps on, you might be wondering, how do you control what direction it faces? Well, one way is by pressing the Tab key on the keyboard. While I'm still holding down my mouse button, watch as I press the Tab key on my keyboard. The Tab key lets me rotate the component into another orientation, but it may not be the orientation you're trying to achieve. In this case, I only have two choices that are 90 degrees apart. One way to fix this is by using sketch lines to control the fittings orientation. I'll again press the Escape key to cancel this drag and drop and show you what I mean. I'll use the Line tool and draw a line in the direction I want the T to face. I'll complete the line and go back to the design library to get the threaded T. This time, when I drag the T over the intersection, it snaps into position and aligns with the three sketch segments. When it's in position, I'll go ahead and release my mouse button to place it. When I do, I'll be prompted to select the configuration to use. I'll click OK to accept the default. When I do, the T is added to the route and the pipe route continues on the new line I created. Although we used a T fitting in this example, keep in mind the process and behavior will be very similar in cases where you want to add couplers, or if you want to change the diameter of your pipe along the route using reducer fittings.